Leto Citizen TV.
And now joining us, we have Nelson Koech from Belgut constituency. Good morning, Mheshimiwa.
Good morning, Sam. Good morning, viewers.
I've not seen you in a very long time.
Very, very long.
What have you been up to?
Happy back to be on the show. I took a short break.
Yeah. No, that was a long one.
Yeah, it is actually. It was a long one, but yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Back with the rains. Thank God for Nairobi poured last night, so it looks like it's the onset of the rainy season.
Yeah, it's the blessing of what Mheshimiwa Kagusha is saying, Valentine's Day. And Fred Okango, good morning.
Good morning, Sam.
Good to see you. It's been a week.
Good to see you too, and I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and Mheshimiwa Kagusha as well. You've been away for close to 2 years? Or is it 1 year?
It's 1 year, actually.
Yeah.
It's 1 year.
How have you been?
I've been very well.
Yeah.
And I want to really be happy to be back to this show.
Yeah.
I've been away for 1 year.
Yes.
I took a break with a reason. I took a break because, as you may all know, I was very much in support of the William Ruto and his government. But then at some point I realized we were going the wrong way. And for that reason, I decided to sit back and reflect, think, and see if that would be the way to go. And of course, after consultations, a lot with my own self, with the people, it was clear that what I was passionately pursuing was not something that was going to work.
Right.
Because it had quite a bit of lies and deception. You know, for example, I had been promised that we were going to do a very big dam called Gura Dam in Nyeri that was going to supply water to the people of Mukurweini and the neighboring constituencies. Myself and the MP for Odaya, we went all the way to Abadeas at the top to look for the place where we are going to do that dam. We even spent money, a lot of money for designing. And then the president went out of the country to look for PPP. You know, he had promised 100 dams in the country.
Yes.
Unfortunately, when he came back with the Adanis. Nothing for the dam. And now the people of Mukurweini are being lined up for food. They're being delivered rice and beans in their homes. They've been subdivided into sublocations so that every sublocation, there is a day, food is being taken to their homes. And this is money that the president did not even need to look for PPP. He just needed to give us that money to do the dam. Instead of doing the dam, he's bringing food in trucks to the people of Mukurweini.
So there's a situation in Mukurweini?
It's not a situation. The situation is in northern Kenya. The food is not being taken where the situation is. In Mukurweini, we have no drought. We have plenty of food.
So where is food coming there?
For campaigns and for bribery. And what I'm asking the government is, why don't you give us the dam? If you give us a dam to do the irrigation, we'll be able to farm and have our own food and feed ourselves and pay school fees for our kids.
So there's no food shortage in Mukurweini?
Of course, there's no food shortage.
So how was the decision arrived at?
We also have a lot of mangoes. It's a mango season in Mukurweini. Mango season is usually a very
I should make you my friend.
Plentiful. Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
So you know, those kind of that kind of deception is what really made me now sit back and reflect. And so after that reflection, after that 1 year, I can clearly tell my followers and also the viewers, both critics and supporters, whom, of course, we engaged in this show for a long time, that my perspective is totally different, and I no longer want to, and I no longer support a deceptive regime and a deceptive agenda.
So what do you support?
No, I'm now supporting the cry of the people of Kenya, that they want good governance, that when money is collected from their taxes, for SHA and for other things, that money really needs to be taken back into the budget, into the government structures, so that it can serve the people, rather than that money being taken to the State House for people to go and collect it if they have access and when they get access, and if they can put on a yellow cap.
So before all this light came to your way, there were no problems in State House?
There were, and there have always been problems, but I passionately believed that William Ruto had an agenda for Kenya. Unfortunately, after interrogating this, I realized we were being taken on a wild goose chase, and I realized the system was totally deceptive. And what I believed was true, it was not. For example, I was asked to raise my SHA contribution from 1,700 to 38,000, so that the people who are so poor and so vulnerable can be able to get free access to SHA without any problems, and that also we can have SHA working in hospitals. As we talk today, the people whom I agreed to raise my SHA contribution for are paying much more than they were paying before. Like the vulnerable people in Mukurweini now, the elderly, the sick and the disabled, they still pay for SHA. They pay more than they were paying before. Yeah. And yet I'm paying 38,000 from 1,700. So I expected that this difference would go and cater for them. That money is not. When again I go to...
And the service they're accessing?
Well, sometimes they go to the hospital and they are told that they have been paid for the SHA money. Yeah. But when you go to the same hospitals, you find that the SHA money has not been refunded. So you go to Mukurweini Hospital, for example, and find that now they are owed up to 60 million shillings. And now my hospital in Mukurweini is not able to offer very basic services to the people, including lab services, including medicine and drugs, including X-ray. Like now X-ray machine, you find that they are down most of the time.
All right, Kagusha. Yeah. I think we'll have to plan for some time to really interrogate some of those things, especially when it comes to different programs that the Kenya Kwanza administration has come up with. But I don't know if you, Honorable Koech, you have anything to say about that, because Mheshimiwa Kagusha has seen the light.
I'm very hesitant to follow his narrative, because it sounds like a lamentation. It has taken him 1 year to realize so many things. First of all, he's telling you a county function. He's telling you that there are no drugs in hospitals in his villages. And that is a county function. He should be addressing it to the governor. And everything that Kagusha has raised is simply telling the people of Mukurweini that I have not delivered, and this is the reason why I have not delivered. He's not saying he's delivered. Let me tell you something.
But how do you deliver a county function?
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm coming to the dam, for instance. You know, when you say, when you talk about the dam and say that the president promised me a dam, it doesn't work. The budget process is done by we members of parliament. Everything that has to be factored in, whatever county it is coming from, it is in the budget. We are the ones, when the budget is tabled on the floor of the House, we vote for it before it is being implemented. So it is our entire process. There is absolutely nothing
but
that the president...
Usually Parliament works on proposals from the National Treasury or from the government.
In any case...
We can change. Yes, the law has allowed...
Has Parliament approved any construction of a dam?
Several dams have been constructed.
Like?
I don't know how far first of all, there are some that are going to happen from PPP, okay? Yeah. PPP is investors injecting their own capital. The process is quite lengthy, some of those projects then I'm sure are on course of being delivered.
So out of the promise of 100, would you know any that has taken off?
It cannot be one dam in isolation. Most of them, as it is happening, happened through the process that I have mentioned to you. Yeah. Okay, I have none that was going to happen, for instance, in my constituency. But I know that is our neighboring county, Bomet County, has Boster Dam, that also the president had mentioned that was going to happen. There are several other dams that have been lined up. I don't know how far the one that was ongoing in Tuaka Dam is. I'm not sure.
Tuaka has been going on for
a very long
10 years now.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not
sorry, the question I'm asking, because he's very specific about 100 dams promise, and I think that was on 29th of September.
He was talking about Mukurweini, and I want us to deal with
Just a moment. 29th of September 2022, when President William Ruto went to, what do you call it? Inaugurate? What do you call it? When Parliament is seated the first time. What is that event?
No, when we had the swearing in. Or
after the swearing in, the president comes, and after that address, now Parliament can begin its functions. So I'll find the word. But during that event, that's when he spoke about the 100 dams. And the question I'm asking is, out of that promise, would you know any that has taken off?
I'm not sure about how many dams. I have to be honest. I'm not sure about how many dams because I don't have the visibility. It's not in my purview. But because some of them are privately initiated proposals, so I will simply say that I wanted to address the issue of Mukurweini for the purpose of this conversation. Yeah. Some of these proposals, the same Kagusha and team have been so much against it. You heard him speaking about Adani. Today, what we have in our airport is a dire state. Okay? For the last 1 week, Wilson Airport, for instance, has just been closed. And now all the planes have had to squeeze into Jomo Kenyatta International Airport because there's a repair that is happening in Wilson Airport. You have been to our airport, particularly those people who fly out. This is the face of the country when we have visitors coming in. It is in a dire state. But because of cheap politics, people decided to politicize it and have the project that was to start off cancelled. And that is why you hear Kagusha speaking about Adani.
That wasn't cheap politics. Surely the president cancelled it after there was new information. He himself said...
Because there was a lot of misinformation.
Partner states gave us intelligence.
That is why, because there was a lot of misinformation and disinformation. That is why we took time to explain to people. Everyone now in the country agrees...
Disinformation about Adani? What do you mean?
There was a lot of disinformation and misinformation about that.
So that is
first of all, there was an argument that, you know when you tell people, there's a difference between speaking to the people the truth and playing politics with the people. Yeah. Number one, if you tell the people that today that the airport is being sold, of course, no one wants the airport. That is a national asset. No one will want the airport to be sold. But when you explain to the people where we are driving, where we want to go, that we do not have enough money in our budget to finance such huge capital projects like the airport, but this is a plan that we have, an innovative plan that we have. Look, for instance, Rirone Mau Summit Road. Everyone is happy about it. It is the same design that the airport was going to be used to construct. But people understand when you explain to them, when you meet people and you do public participation and explain to people, then people understand and appreciate. We are telling them there are two companies here, private companies that want to invest, and then they take their money from tolling. It was the same principle.
So I understand that, but Mheshimiwa Koech, eventually, yes, there could be misinformation, disinformation, a lot of excitement about a particular proposal, but it is the president who told Parliament that after intelligence from our own institutions and partner states, it had been arrived that Adani was doing the wrong thing, and therefore all the contracts were cancelled, including one in the power sector, power transmission sector.
It might have been poorly structured, okay, but the principle was correct. It might have been poorly structured, but I think in essence, the principle and what the president was aiming to do was correct. It was our responsibility as members of parliament to make sure that it was okay. Most of us actually agreed with Adani, including Kagusha, and we said this is perfectly okay because we understood that the structure that it was going to use to deliver was perfectly okay. So Sam, allow me to say this.
No, you're confusing me, and I think I need to move away from that conversation because it cannot be that the president, based on his intelligence that he has received, cancels a process. Now you're defending it? How do you defend it?
I'm not defending it. I said there was a lot of misinformation and disinformation. What you're talking about, the president cancelling...
But when there's a finding, someone is indicted in a U.S. court that they're actually involved in corrupt habits.
Yes.
How can you say that's misinformation?
I am saying there was a lot of... forget about Adani for a moment.
Is there a possibility that corruption is involved in the Kenyan negotiations?
Forget about Adani for a moment. I was saying the principle, okay? I was saying the model that we wanted to use to do our airport was correct. You know why I got this? Because we were talking about Adani and Kurueni. I was just trying to explain why certain processes might take a bit longer time. In fact, and even get into mistakes like what happened with the airport. But I'm not in any way defending Adani. I'm simply saying that we need an airport. We have to be innovative. And some of the ways to be innovative is exactly what the president had proposed.
Okay, all right. I have to be honest that this was not part of the agenda for the day, but because we're here already talking about it.
Let me just say something.
I'm not even finished.
Very small. I just want to point out that for maybe my colleague, Koech, he may not have known, but in an interview, I think in this station, the CS was asked if any of the 100 dams had taken off. And he said none had taken off. That was about 3 months ago. And until now, there's none that has taken off. And again,
CS for water?
Yeah, CS for water. And again, this dam is not a Mukurweini dam. Gura Dam was to serve many constituencies. That's why I said we went all the way to Abadeas with a member for parliament for Odaya, who does not subscribe to my thinking. But nevertheless, I was with him in Abadeas, and we spent money, myself and himself. And the president came and committed.
A feasibility study or what?
Yeah. In the pre-feasibility study.
Where did you take that report?
To the ministry. and it was adopted, and the president came and committed, and that was to be that dam. And you know, there is also another one in Karemenu.
So have you tried to find out what the challenge is? Maybe they don't have resources?
Yeah, really. The president had committed 100 dams, and they were supposed to have the PPP arrangement.
Yeah.
But again, when the president went to look for the PPPs, these one for irrigation couldn't work. The ones that worked very fast was the one for Adani. There was one for Ketraco. There's one for, I think, another power energy sector agency. So those are the ones that were working fast. What I'm saying is there was no interest whatsoever to solve things that are for common mwananchi. For example, look at the commitment in northeastern Kenya that we are going to do a stadium of 900 million shillings. Yet that place is starving. 900 million shillings can fix the water sector problem that we have in irrigation again in northeastern Kenya.
So you have an issue with the prioritization of
no, not really.
resources.
I have a problem with the deception, whereby we are committing, or what we say that we are going to solve the people's problems, we do not commit, inwardly and behind the scenes. We do not do that commitment to help the people. Absolutely.
Okay,
what we're doing is just doing it for
Mheshimiwa Kagushe, let's move to, I don't know, Fred, if you have anything to say about this conversation.
and by the way...
Sorry,
I've been listening to Honorable Kagushe.
It's important to know that in that 1 year, Fred has seen the light, Mheshimiwa Kagushe. Fred has seen the light and now works in government.
Well, seeing the light is not bad, but seeing the light late is very bad. You know, Mheshimiwa Kagushe is behaving like... Saul of Tarsus in the Bible, the Hebrew and the Pharisee was persecuting early Christians, and then he changed to Paul, sorry. I have debated Mheshimiwa Kagushe in these studios before, and on those early days, you could not tell Mheshimiwa Kagushe on anything against President Ruto. Even things that some of us who in Azimio believed that were not right at that time, you couldn't tell him anything. But today, he's telling the people of Mukurweini that, he was wrong, and I was wrong with him, but now I'm right. Mheshimiwa Kagushe doesn't work like that. But it's good you are now Paul. When you become Paul, so the journey to Damascus is now maybe real for you. But I want to remind you that the people of Mukurweini are waiting for you to give them the best that they can get. They are also asking you why you misled them all that time. And now you're coming back as Paul, who have seen the light. What will they do with you come 2027 when they have suffered all those years, Mheshimiwa Kagushe? That decision will be made by them.
Okay, Fred. Not me. That's fine. We're still waiting for the arrival of Mheshimiwa Robert Mboi.
But maybe he also missed a point when I said
let's not go back there.
During the 1 year,
it's on record.
During the year of reflection, one of the things I did was to consult with the people of Mukurweini. So he needs to understand that where I stand is where the people of Mukurweini stand, and we are together.
Okay, all right.